Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Members only. Well, members only first, and then, we'll let the public in a little bit later. Good morning, everybody. Saturday morning. I know people are like, Slee, what the hell are you doing here? Slee, didn't you just have a post game show half an hour ago? A couple things. Number one, I feel like I still got some good stuff to talk about that I want to talk about. Granted, this is recorded. And number two, I am promising people who are out there, if they are going out of their way to be a member of this channel, 100%, I'm going to get them exclusive content as well. I'm very, very appreciative. Almost 200 people now, members. Literally almost 200 people now, members. If you're watching this and you are a member, thank you so much for being a member. I appreciate it. If you're somebody who's gifted members, because I got a lot of people gifted members, thank you for doing that as well. I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Guys, there's still a lot to talk about around Lakers basketball. So I'm going to spend probably not too much time on this, maybe 15, 20 minutes or so, just do an episode where I focus more predominantly on some of the other guys because I think listen, it's natural in what I do. And I'm not telling you that I want to do this every time in the sense of just talk about stars or anything like that, or just the hot topics or anything like that. But it's natural that we kind of go towards go towards some of those topics. But here's the reality. Right now, the Lakers are having the amount of success that they're having. And it's not just because of LeBron. It's not just because of Austin Reeves. And it's not just because of Luka Doncic. I would actually argue that LeBron's been the most consistent of the stars, and what actually happens when Luka starts being Luka Doncic. So in this morning's video, whether you're watching it in the morning or the afternoon or whatever the case is, I'm going to focus a little bit on the other guys, as we like to put it, because they deserve a ton of credit. Just real quick here, I'm going to use last night's game as a great example. Last night, everybody's watching the Lakers, and I said this when I was doing the post-game show, and I meant it. I got to be honest. I didn't think Lakers were going to win last night. I just didn't. I thought there was a lot of things that were playing against them. I think the fact that it was a second of a back-to-back, it was 3 games in 4 nights, and then here they got another game coming up tomorrow against the Clippers. They had a lot of excuses lined up for them. Reeves only played 9 minutes. Rui Hachimura was going to be out. End of the show, I got updates on both of those guys, by the way. So I thought there was a lot of reasons for the Lakers to just kind of fold up shop. And even to start out the game, Lakers were down by 10, and there was a lot leaning towards, this probably is not going to be the Lakers' night. They go to the bench, and all of a sudden, they start getting just some phenomenal energy from guys that if I'd have told you this 3 months ago, 6 months ago, you'd be like, I don't even know how the hell you're talking about. They go to the bench and they start getting contributions. I'm not going to start with the Vandos of the world or the Gabe Vincents of the world or any of the names that we are more familiar with. Why don't I start with Jordan Goodwin? Guys like that start coming in the game. I really want to put Jordan Goodwin and Trey Jamison III in the same category in last night's game. Here's the only difference. The difference is we've been seeing this before from Jordan Goodwin. So last night was not the first time we got to see Jordan Goodwin. We kind of know what he brings to the table. Love his energy, high IQ. Does not feel like he's, how do I put this? Doesn't feel like he's intimidated by the moment. He's intimidated by some of the other players. I'm an NBA player. That Jordan Goodwin has convinced himself, however the hell he's done it, I'm an NBA player. It helps, too, being 26 years old. It helps for Trey Jamison III being 25 years old, as in these guys probably have already had some kind of a journey, have been fighting their way to, obviously be on a roster and have contributions. And they're not 19. They're not 20. There isn't a moment where it's like, oh, my gosh, what the hell is going on here? It's kind of – and I give – I think sometimes how hard your players play is a reflection of your coach. And I have to imagine that J.J. Redick has convinced Jordan Goodwin and Trey Jamison III that if you play hard, I'm going to get you more minutes. that there is no exception of, I don't care whether you play well or you don't play well. If you play hard, I will reward you. And yesterday, in a game where, there's a reason why I wanted to kind of start the episode today. I want to start the episode talking about how I had my doubts about yesterday's game. And then by the time, the Lakers go to their bench and Lakers are down 10, it's like, all right, yeah, I think this is just going to be one of those games where Lakers going to have a difficult time against the Clippers. Simple as that. And oh, by the way, Clippers came out aggressive, came out hot, came out attacking, came out probably with a little bit of vengeance since the last time the Lakers played the Clippers. They blew them out in Inglewood at the Intuit Dome. And all of a sudden, you got two bench guys that come in. And it's not just those two guys. I told you, I'm going to get into some of the familiar names that we know about. But in my opinion, Jordan Goodwin, Trey Jamison III changed the entire game last night against the Los Angeles Clippers. That's not to take anything away from some of the other role players. That's not to take anything away from some of the stars and what they did. But those two players, when you put them in the game yesterday, it was like, you know what? Maybe Lakers do got a chance to win this game tonight. You know what? By the time the first quarter was done, it was a 1-point game. It was 25-24. Clippers roll me up by 1. It's like, okay, so you take the Clippers, one of their best shots. They come out trying to send a message. The starters don't look like they got their legs under them. Some of the guys are still, from the starting unit, struggling as far as how they're shooting. Austin Reeves only plays 9 minutes, and then he's out the rest of the game. We already know Rui Hachimura is not in the game as well. And then the first quarter ends, and the Clippers are probably looking up at the score and saying, we're only up 1? After all that, it's only 25-24. I give a lot of credit to those two players. I'm going to go back to something I said a little bit earlier. Usually the way your team plays is a reflection of your coach. And I thought those two players had this fire, had this, hey, I don't care what the hell the results are going to be. We're going to come out here and we're going to do work. We're going to roll up our sleeves. We're going to put on our construction hat. We're going to go to work. And whatever the day looks like at the end of the day, the one thing you can't complain about is our effort. Maybe we didn't play well. Maybe we had some dumb turnovers. Maybe there were some situations where we got to be smarter, wiser, this, whatever the case is. But one thing that's not going to happen is you're not going to outwork us. That was Trey Jamison III. That was Jordan Goodwin last night. I thought they changed the complexion of the game, and maybe I'm overreacting a little bit. With all the other bench players, I thought they changed the complexion of the game. Do you know Trey Jamison III was a plus 19 in the plus minus yesterday in 22 minutes of play? The plus minus can be deceiving sometimes, but let me help you with the plus minus last night. When he was in the game, he was helping the Lakers. Do you know Jordan Goodwin was a plus 14 in 21 minutes last night? I just like talking about two guys that don't usually get the shine, and they deserve it. This isn't me trying to force a topic or a conversation. I think a lot of people yesterday in the postgame show, all of them, a lot of people in the comments, hey, I really like what Trey Jamison III is bringing. Hey, I really like what Jordan Goodwin is bringing. So I just thought their energy, their effort, what they brought to the table was fantastic yesterday. Trey Jamison, his size, his presence, and I'm not telling you his actual frame or anything like that, because it's not like he's a 7-footer. It's not, Zubac, you could see when he's in a game, you could feel his presence. But I think how he plays makes him bigger than he really is. So shout out to those two players because they were phenomenal. Can I keep going on the other guys if you guys don't mind? I'm gonna jump here. I'm gonna actually go a little bit different of a direction. I don't know if people expected me when I'm talking about some of the other guys. Was really, really happy to see Dalton Connect, to see some buckets go for him yesterday. Lakers didn't score that many points. They only scored 106. 8 of those came from Dalton Connect. Lakers bench were phenomenal yesterday. And I thought Connect gave the Lakers some minutes, hit a couple threes in a row. He's got to feel good about that. Saw him actually getting to the basket, driving the ball to the basket. He didn't hit every shot. Was 3 of 6 from the field, hit a couple of threes. Just to see Dalton Connect get a little bit of shine, a little bit of run. You could see from some of the other players, when they're given, I think they had called timeout because he had hit a couple threes in a row. and he's going back to the bench, and he kind of had that little, that extra little step as he was jogging back to the bench. And it made me think of a couple months ago. You guys remember how good Dalton Connect was for the Lakers a couple months ago? How phenomenal he was? How much content was just focused on Dalton Connect and the steal of the draft and number 17? How did he fall that far and everything else? It's been a long time since we talked about him. It's been a really, really long time since we talked about Dalton Connect from that perspective, right? It was cool yesterday to see him get some minutes, get some shine, and get some results. That to me was the biggest thing. He could last night go sleep on his bed and say, shit, finally, I had a couple go in. You know what? Maybe people are going to talk less and less about the trade that didn't happen. Hey, whatever happens this offseason, who cares? I'm on the Lakers. I'm on my rookie contract no matter what. I get to play with LeBron and Luka for at least a couple of months. I'll worry about the summer when the summer comes. Connect was really good yesterday. Arguably, there's two other players that I want to point out here as the other guys. And it's going to be Vando and it's going to be Gabe Vincent. Jared Vanderbilt, there are times where he's the most important player on the court. There are times where Jared Vanderbilt is the most important player on the court. And I'm going to read you his stat line from yesterday. 3 points, 5 rebounds. There's a reason why there are times he's the most important player on the court. Yesterday, I'm watching him go up against James Harden. And there were moments where he's toe-to-toe with James Harden. I don't know if you guys saw Harden's stats yesterday. I'm not telling you this is all because of Vando. Harden's a really good player. I'm not trying to take anything away from Harden. He was 5 of 22, 1 of 10 from the three-point line yesterday. And I'm not telling you that's all Vando. But there are times where Vando is the most important player on the court. Last night, I know the stat came out there. The Lakers have held their last 6 games. They've held teams to 102 points or lower. There's a culture that the Lakers are playing with right now. There's a presence on defense that the Lakers have right now. Bron said that's just us when he was talking about defense. I mean, it's who we are at this point. Okay. That doesn't usually come or is associated with the Lakers that, oh, no, it's just who we are. We're a defensive team. Defensively is where we hang our hat. It's going to give us a chance to win every single night. And, he's obviously talking about the Lakers defense. Guys, I don't think it's a coincidence that since Jared Vanderbilt has been back with the Lakers, I'm going to see the exact date here. I don't think it's a coincidence that all of a sudden, since Jared Vanderbilt has been back with the Lakers, that they are now a consistently really good defensive team. I don't think that's a coincidence. And it's funny. This was talked about yesterday as well. They were talking about Vando, and I think it was LeBron. Somebody said he had the highest plus minus in the game yesterday. By the way, Trey Jamison the third, plus 19, Jared Vanderbilt, plus 20. Damn, that's really impressive from both of those players. If 2 guys like that coming off the bench who are not your marquee players, that's just so impressive. Anyways, I don't think it's a coincidence, and I got a stat here that I'm going to read for everybody here real quick. I don't think it's a coincidence. The Lakers have the league's highest rated defense over the last 6 weeks. And I'm going to give you the date Jared Vanderbilt came back. The first game Vando played for the Lakers this year was January 25th. Guys, that was 5 weeks ago. 5 weeks ago. I don't think it's a coincidence that all of a sudden they're one of the most effective teams in the NBA on the defensive side since Jared Vanderbilt came back. I don't think that's a coincidence by any stretch of the imagination. Vando's been phenomenal. It's funny. Every time, some of these players talk about Vando, there's a little bit of like well, what'd you expect? That's how important this guy is to this team. Vando phenomenal yesterday. The last role player I want to talk about, the last other guys that I want to talk about is Gabe Vincent. Gabe had a stretch yesterday where he was guarding Kawhi Leonard. And I'm not kidding when I tell you this. Every move Kawhi Leonard made, Gabe Vincent was toe for toe, chest to chest with Kawhi Leonard. Pump fake. Beautiful footwork from Kawhi. Hesitation. Left to right. Every single step of the way. And then, just naturally because Kawhi is that much bigger and has that much more length of Gabe Vincent. When he got to the point where now it was like, okay, I can't get past him. I'm just going to shoot over him. Gabe Vincent gets right, almost foot to foot with him, not under him like it's a foul or anything, and just both hands absolutely straight up. It was as perfect of defense, textbook defense that you can have. Now, a better offensive player is going to score that bucket on Gabe Vincent. And I didn't care what the result of the play was. I remember the broadcasters even saying, that's a good look for Kawhi Leonard. I kept saying, that's good defense by Gabe Vincent. If a player hits a bucket over you after dancing around for 8 or 9 seconds in a possession and then has to put up a shot over the defender and the defender's got both hands straight up legally, if that player hits it, that's when you say you tip your cap to him. That's a good offensive play. But that was still great defense by Gabe Vincent. Why do I mention that possession alone? I mention it because there was a time where Gabe Vincent was no longer an asset for the Lakers. He's a year and a half into the Lakers of a 3-year contract, over a year and a half. Last year was a wash. First couple of months of this year was a wash. And now all of a sudden it's like, hey, Gabe's giving you really good minutes defensively. 7 points, 4 steals yesterday, 3 assists. There's just a bunch of other guys contributing. And I want to point them out. I know, Dorian Finney-Smith, Jackson Hayes, these other guys have been assets as well for the Lakers in other times. But last night, that bench got the Lakers the W over a decent Clippers team. They're not, a top 3 team in the West. They're a top 6 team in the West, maybe top 7, somewhere around there. And I thought that bench got the Lakers the W. I didn't think it was, yes, LeBron got his 28 and 13. Yes, Luka ended up with 31 points. Yes, I know all that. I understand that. That bench won the Lakers that game last year last night. And I wanted to spend today's episode, this morning's episode, for my people, the members that are here, and later on when I also release this out to the public, I wanted to spend this video talking about some of the other guys. So hopefully you guys, I appreciate what the other guys are doing, and I'm sure a lot of Laker fans appreciate it as well. Freaking balling, man. 37 and 21. I got a couple other things I'm going to get into, and then I'm going to go enjoy my Saturday, and I hope you guys enjoy your Saturday as well. Do you guys know the Lakers closed out the month of February going 10 and 2? 10 and 2. There was an article in the LA Times. Lakers find an identity forged by a true leader in JJ Redick. Guys, I've been covering the Lakers for a long time. Coaches don't usually get much praise. And the way this article starts off with, the Lakers have found their leader. This article is from Dylan Hernandez, who's been on my show before. I know Dylan. He's a good dude. He's phenomenal at what he does. But he's also very critical. There is nothing critical about this article. Let me read the first couple sentences of his article. The Lakers have found their leader. Next paragraph. After Mike Brown, Mike D'Antoni, Byron Scott, Luke Walton, Frank Vogel, and Darvin Ham, they have found their leader. The revolving door to the coach's office has finally stopped. JJ Redick is what the Lakers hoped he would be, and maybe even more. I don't think there's a maybe there. Definitely more. Now, is this still the regular season? Yes. If the Lakers flamed out in the first round and they lost a first round matchup to the Clippers or the Houston Rockets or something like that, would everybody be disappointed? Of course they would. Does JJ Redick still have a lot more to prove? Of course he does. But I think the one thing you can't say about JJ Redick, he belongs in the league and he belongs as a head coach. Not enough, probably enough praise is going to JJ because he has kind of created this culture. 10 and 2 in the month of February. Do you know how many different curveballs the Lakers got in the month of February and they just kept winning? Do you know how many teams over 500 they beat over the last 30 days? where the conversation about the Lakers used to be, well, they can't beat anybody over 500. They keep doing it. I'll tell you how many teams they've beat over 500. Well, thank you for asking. Well, let me go to the schedule here real quick. All right, here's all the teams they've beat in the month of February over 500. Knicks, Clippers, Warriors, Indiana, Denver, Dallas, Minnesota, LA. 8 of their games in the month of February were against teams over 500. They beat them all. Who'd they lose to in February? They lost a game to the Utah Jazz and a game to the Charlotte Hornets. They had a 2-game losing streak. They played 8 teams over 500 in the month of February, went 8-0. Wow. That's effing impressive. And I just realized that as I was going through here. So, compliments to Sliwa for going to go get those stats. Compliments to Sliwa. Everybody, stop what you're doing here for a quick second. Pick up the phone, call one of your good friends or a family member, and just say, hey, compliments to Sliwa, and then hang up. Okay? Okay, that part's really, really impressive. I did not know it was 8-0. But this whole article is talking about how, JJ Redick has really just become the leader of the team. And, when I was talking about Trey Jameson III, and I was talking about Jordan Goodwin, and I was saying that typically your team the way your team plays is based off your coach. How do they play stylistically? What do they look like? To me, it feels like everyone believes in JJ Redick's message, and that's not easy to do as a rookie head coach in the league. Okay, last thing, I just want to give a couple updates here from an injury perspective. We'll get the hell out of here. Okay, Reeves to undergo MRI after exiting Lakers-Clippers game. Reeves will undergo MRI on his calf on Saturday. So we'll see if we get some type of an update today. JJ said, yes, experiencing some tightness in the calf, some soreness. We held him out as a precaution. So, obviously Lakers are going to try to be as best as they can as cautious as possible. You don't want to take any chances. And that's the last thing you want to do is lose Austin Reeves for an extended period of time. So obviously you don't want that to happen. The other news that came out yesterday, let me find this here. Rui Hachimura about avoiding time, avoiding missing, obviously a serious injury. I think they did say optimistic's not a serious injury. He's going to be reevaluated in a week, I think was the timetable. Yeah, Redick then revealed after the game that Rui Hachimura was diagnosed patella tendinopathy and will be reevaluated in 1 week, meaning he will miss a few games. You do kind of got to start looking at the big picture now with the Lakers, and it's March 1st, not May 1st, and you're in the middle of a playoff round. So you might as well be very, very smart and strategic with your players, and I think they're going to, obviously do that with Rui and do that with Austin Reeves as well. So I fully expect the Lakers to be, pumping the brakes here on some of that stuff. Okay, my people, that's all I got. What do we end up with? Almost 24 minutes here. This will go out to members only for most of the day on Saturday, and then I'll put it out to the public as well a little bit later. But members, thank you very much for being here. If you're not a member and you'd like to consider being a member, once a week exclusive content to members, the special emojis, all that stuff that comes with it, behind the scenes conversations, Q&As. We're going to be doing all that stuff as I grow memberships. Either way, I appreciate everybody being a part of the channel. I appreciate your guys' support. Please subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for being here. I hope you guys have a great Saturday. Sammy Long will be putting out a preview video to Lakers Clippers for tomorrow. And then I'll be back on tomorrow night as the Lakers take on the Clippers again. Thank you for being here, everybody. By the way, Monday, just a quick reminder, and I know we got a little bit of time before Monday. I'll promote it again tomorrow. Brad Turner of the LA Times, who had the one-on-one conversation with Anthony Davis a couple days ago, he'll join the show on Monday. So we'll continue to have that conversation and talk about the weekend with the Lakers and the Clippers. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Hope you guys have a fantastic weekend, and we will see you guys coming up tomorrow night after the Lakers take on the Clippers. Thank you, everybody.